Okay, bye-bye.
TC, how you doing?
I fell asleep waiting.
Yeah. We were doing a great show there. Juan had some good
Oh no,
videos,
I
good
was I
guests.
was listening.
What'd you think?
I'm sorry, what?
You were like, man, can we get the
No,
pearls
no, it
back?
was I it no, it was a it was it's interesting to hear other people yes, thanks Juan. K-Sock is definitely better to look at than Skipper, I agree. Um
You can't get the
wow.
beauty and the
Dude,
jokes. You got to get one or the other.
it'd be nice if we could get the jokes once in a while. No, it was interesting to hear you guys bring up home education. We home educated from start to finish. Our children didn't spend a single day in the government and public schools. And I had recently had made the statement. I think you probably saw it on Facebook. I had made the statement. I said, so to all of my conservative friends out there who say your kids need to be in government schools because of socialization, how's that working out for you right now? And for me it comes down to the fact that, one, remember, these are the same people who also, sent your kids home for months on end and expected them to learn, but also look at what they're teaching them right now. So tell me a little bit about how socialization is good for them. So,
Okay, I
and
don't
having
know.
experienced the the smearing of parents at the hands of school boards across the country. Um, but here in my region, as you know, I did a lot of school board work over the last summer, and with numerous school districts,
Mhm.
and helping them learn how you're not obligated to sit there and be these silent sheeple during school board meetings just because they have a bunch of rules in place. They are government servants. They are public servants. They literally, from the school board members and the chair to the superintendents and other school district staff, literally are your servants. They don't get to bark at you and tell you what you can and cannot say during meetings. And a lot of people are not aware of that. And in this region, in southern Minnesota and southeast Minnesota especially, it was, um, things changed on a dime when we started to organize parent groups to speak out
Mhm.
and tell them, no, you don't have to kowtow to them. You don't have to um, put up with their abusive tactics. And it changed the way the school districts worked.
No,
So
absolutely. That's you're seeing the
I don't know what
reawakening
that
of
third picture
parents.
is on the feed. I'm a little worried. We got a third picture there. Is I'm expecting to see like Buffalo Bill come out.
Well, we're supposed to be joined by a guest here very shortly, so we're waiting on her right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if maybe we were about to experience the scene from a serial killer movie, because you like movies like that. So I didn't know if maybe you were surprising me with something.
No, no surprises here. In fact, I did want to talk about the one story that you sent me, and that was the one about the Army, where they're considering allowing the soldiers, if we can get that, if we can get that story up. Yeah, so the Army is
Mm.
considering allowing soldiers compassionate reassignment over discrimination laws. U.S. Army officials are considering making changes to an existing policy on compassionate reassignment to allow soldiers to request relocation if they are concerned that state or local laws discriminate against them based on gender, sex, religion, race, or pregnancy, according to a new report. So if you're pregnant and you don't like the laws of your state, you can request orders. That was what jumped out to me.
I've been. Oh no, yeah, which is why I sent it to you. I mean, I know the Air Force is able to, for decades, has been able to get compassionate reassignment when the weather's too hot and the chow takes a dive. But I haven't dug on the Air Force for a while, so. But we are. I just want. When the Juan says when the cable goes off, right? I just want to remind everybody, one of the ways that Skipper and I met was the series that I was doing about the Marxification of the military, and the detrimental effect that it was going to have on the military. Like even this, the Army going from be all that you can be to be an army of one. As for the recruiting commercials, but then even taking it further and slapping Gramscian social Marxism all over the ads and being woke and whatnot, and it's happened, and some with the other branches are kind of moving towards that as well. Like, this is what we end up with.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be training people to kill and destroy. Tell me, the end goal of every single person in the military, whether they're naval or Air Force or Marine or Army, is ultimately to be, when needed, called upon to be an infantryman, to go out with a gun and kill the enemy. That's the basic function of every single person in the military. We now have the largest branch in the United States military. For lack of better terminology, telling people if you're too wimpy to handle the law that you don't like in your state, you can get a compassionate reassignment out of that state to go somewhere else. Like, I'm supposed to trust these people to defend my borders, to defend my Constitution, to defend my republic? All the enemy would need to do is come up and call them a bad name or misgender them, and they would just surrender. They'd just fall down. They would have one of those screeching fits that we saw right after Trump got elected. I keep thinking of all of the people that were caught on video screaming bloody murder. And literally, just, I don't want to use the term that often gets used because I don't want to demean a group of people that has a developmental disability. But that screech, literally, so your enemy comes up to you, doesn't shoot you, just misgenders you, and now you surrender because you're just incapable of fighting. Because we're raising a generation of wimps and wusses, and now we're putting them in the military.
Imagine all the damage you could do to the U.S. military by just misgendering them on the battlefield. You could start skywriting with your jets. TC doesn't like.
I identify as an angry patriot.
I do want to bring in, we have a guest today. She's been my friend for a number of years. She's a Navy veteran, so finally we're showing the Navy some love on the show. But I do want to say welcome to Kelly McBride, who is joining us.
Hello, hello. Glad
Kelly,
to be here.
my condolences on your friendship.
She's had to put up with the bad jokes longer than you have.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No, I can just log off.
We spent 2 days on a road trip together.
In the car.
In the car. So I heard a lot of jokes. So.
You still
here.
call them jokes?
I do have a couple other headlines that I want us to
What
get
did
to.
you do in the Navy, Kelly?
I was a cryptologic technician.
Smart jobs.
Signals intelligence.
Yeah. For a lot of our audience, are trying to figure out either you would hunt the Loch Ness monster or Bigfoot, or you protected cryptocurrency. That's what they're
right.
hearing right now. So
Bigfoot is real.
she's gonna have a show on Animal Planet and TLC.
I get asked a lot of questions. Oh, so you know who shot Kennedy? Oh, did you work at Area 50? Yeah, so all kinds of questions. I'm like, no, I know none of that stuff.
It was
my
literally
job.
just signal.
Yes, my job was pretty boring. So none of that.
Bigfoot's real.
So you said you had a
lives up
couple
in
of things,
Bigfoot country.
Skipper?
I do have some more headlines for us. And I think Kelly will definitely appreciate a couple of these. The first one is...
Don't speak for her yet.
So we're all veterans. We all deal with different, pains and stuff. But the Gulf War syndrome has gotten a lot of attention over the years. And now they're saying that they believe they might have solved what it was that caused it. I don't know if Juan has the story to put up, but it looks like, based upon new studies, that it all comes back from use of sarin gas. And it also would explain why, in the second Gulf War, why a lot of veterans are struggling with some of the stuff that we're struggling with today. So I thought you would appreciate this, TC. This was like when you served.
Have I never told you this story
Which one?
about why I joined the Army in the first place?
No. Ooh, new story.
Well, besides the fact that a new story. Thanks. I besides the fact that I wasn't doing real well in college because I didn't know how to study. The Air Force office was closed.
Juan with the key jokes.
Well, I mean, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure they were probably still in bed. So I had joined one because I didn't know how to study, and when you're in college, you have to be able to study, and I was not a good. I could just go take a test and pass it, no problem, throughout high school, except for math. I hated math. And so I wasn't doing real well in college, and the parents were like, you need to figure out what you're going to do. You either like step it up or get a better job, do something. And so I said, oh, I know, I'll join the Army. So I went and joined the Army, and they, fed me all these lines about, being a paratrooper, and I was going to be a ranger and all this stuff. And then I tested pretty high and went into signal. And then I joined because we were going to war, and I'm like, well, hey, we're going to war during the Gulf War. So I started basic in January of '91. So things were kicking off. We were starting to see for the first time MLRS, multiple launch rocket systems, being used when they'd never really been used before. We were seeing bombing raids by close in air fighter bombers and the way we had never seen before. And I'm like, wow, so hey, I'm going to go serve my country. My view has changed a lot since then, by the way. And halfway through basic training, the drill sergeants came in and said, we've got good news and we've got bad news. And I said, well, drill sergeant, what's the bad news? He says, you're in the Army still. So what's the good news? He goes, the war's over. So true to form, everything I set off to do, I hit a roadblock. So I was stuck on contract, which made me very happy that I didn't sign up for defense language school, because they asked me to take the D-Lab, the defense language aptitude battery, after I got down to reception. They're like, hey, you got good scores, you should take the defense language aptitude battery. And I took it, and they're like, we want you. And I'm like, well, what's that require? Well, you can learn pretty much any language you want, but you have to sign a 5-year contract extension because your school is almost 2 years long. And I'm like, no, thank you. So I'm really glad.
Smart choice.
Really glad that I didn't do that. Yeah, that was although now I look at it now, and I probably would not be like begging people to subscribe to my Subscribe Star for my personal podcast, and looking for sponsors for my personal show, if I had probably made the right move and taken the defense language aptitude school.
You could right now be requesting new orders so you could get gender reassignment.
You clearly don't know me very well.
So the next story is actually a huge story today, and I want to get to it because with this afternoon's developments, it's going to get buried. And that's with, there was a shooting in Texas today. 14 people are dead, 13 students, 1 teacher, and apparently also the shooter's grandmother as well. So, yeah, this shooting, as with every shooting, immediately gets politicized. People are out there talking about it and about, everything going on. Have you been following it, TC, at all?
The event today?
Yes. This week's False Flag.
Yeah. We're not going to do that, Skipper.
We have to keep our videos up. We can't have them taken down. But the reason why it's going to be taken down is because we've learned some things about the shooter. In fact, I think we have a picture of him. Juan, do you have that picture that we can throw up of the shooter? Because it's very telling, Oh, no. That's Mel Gibson. That's not the shooter. I think
No, that's
equally abusive, but not the shooter. Like, probably would shoot somebody.
Why do I feel like this was all a setup?
So this guy is Hispanic, as was the shooter, but that is not the shooter. That's a Simpsons character. Nope, that's Anthony Cumia. He's a shooter, but not this shooter. He likes to shoot on the range. This man has been blamed for it. That is Sam Hyde. He gets blamed for every shooting. So no, that's not him. I thought I sent you the picture. Don't we have him? That's Tommy Wiseau.
How long did you work on this today?
He looks like the shooter. He looks just like him. But that is.
God.
Carlos Mencia might not take credit for this one.
Oh my God.
There he is. Okay, so this is Salvador Ramos. He is the shooter, and when this got posted, people were like, that guy kind of looks like transgendered a little bit. And from what I was seeing, it looks like he is an illegal immigrant. So probably likely we will not hear about this case come tomorrow. But we do have confirmation that he did shoot his grandmother, and he did.
Can we take his picture? Can we take his picture down, please?
Yeah, that's about as much we need.
Can we, seriously? I don't want to look at him anymore. He got what he wanted. Now he's famous.
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
Thank you.
So, with this, do you two have any thoughts on this, on these shootings? And Because we're not going to hear about it tomorrow.
No, we will. We're gonna. They won't say his name, and I don't think we should. But we will hear about this. This is going to continue to be a thing. They'll look. I'm going to tell you right now. I false flags. I don't buy into the QAnon level, Alex Jones level crap. This stuff happens because the world is full of evil people, and evil people do evil things, and evil people who do evil things like to hurt what we ostensibly refer to as the innocent. And so I don't believe for a minute that this is one of those, the Alex Jones types are going to be all over this in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're going to dig into this, and they're going to find all the reasons why none of it's true and why it didn't happen. And they're going to find all the crisis actors, and they're going to show pictures of all those people. But here's the problem. The same thing that happened with the guy at the supermarket in, was it Brooklyn? No, Buffalo?
Buffalo, yeah.
Out in New York. Yeah, Buffalo. They're going to find whatever they can, whether it's a manifesto or it's something that online that links him to some radical group on the right, so that they can justify the immediate assault upon the Constitution. That's what's going to happen. And what we have to do as constitutionally minded people is not take the bait and get into that argument. That's what we have to do.
Yep, absolutely.
And we have to remember too that while all of the weirdos are out there thinking about how they can either copycat the crap out of this, or who want to capitalize on it, either on the left or on the right, there are at least 15 grieving families left in the wake of this who don't really give a shit, excuse me, about a left-wing or a right-wing conversation about what could have been done to prevent this. That's what's going to get missed in all of this. I mean, our president's already lowered the flags to half-staff, which, fine, whatever. But what's the tangible good that does? What's the tangible reality of that? We lower the flags to half-staff in the state of Minnesota for all of the COOF patients I guess I can say COVID on this channel, for all the COVID patients who have died in Minnesota. It's like it's no different than calling every cop and every firefighter and every EMT a hero, and everybody who's ever been in the military a hero now. It doesn't mean anything. We'll throw platitudes at all of this, and nothing's going to change. We're not going to get people mental health care. Somebody that does this, whether they're here illegally or they're born and raised here, got missed in the mental health system. That's what happened. Just like this kid out in Buffalo. He got missed in the mental health system. And we're going to make it about anything but that. Because the two ends of the argument are going to want to bastardize each other in this to make the other one look like the bad guy. It's just like the vets. Just like the vets who are living on the streets because their mental health has declined so far. And we'll talk all day long about, we got to fix this by ending the, drug addiction and whatnot, but we'll never talk about why they went down that road in the first place. This could have been prevented if we did something about the lackluster, crappy mental health care system in this country. Sorry.
No, actually, with all these things, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. I think we're not dealing with problems, and we're pushing them along, and we're covering them up, and that's what's kind of pushing these type of things.
Kelly's gonna wish she didn't come on tonight.
No.
Kelly has a lot of experience with crazy people like me, so I'm sure.
Oh gosh, don't get me started. Well, for one,
No, Kelly, I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to give you my number offline. I need all the stories.
well, for one, well, I don't have kids myself, but I have friends that have kids, and you know, I've been told that like this is across the country. There's an epidemic with you know with there's mental health issues out there, you know, with kids, with adolescents, you know, but the problem is we have a shortage of help for those that need it. So I had a friend of mine that um, had his 13-year-old son was having issues, and I guess he didn't find out about the fact that his son had went to his school counselor asking for her help, and he needed to talk to somebody, and apparently he was on a wait list for like 2 months, and I guess the ratio at that school, and I guess this was in like somewhere in Vegas, um, for every student, it was like the ratio for one mental health care worker per student, it was like one counselor per like 50 students or something like that. And I'm just like, what? Especially with everything that's gone on, even as far back as Sandy Hook. I mean, I was watching the news a few minutes ago, and like with Sandy Hook, Columbine, Parkland, like all of these shootings, and you're still getting, you're, they're still happening at rates. They should, first of all, it shouldn't be happening at all. But the mental health care system has been broken. In general, you know, with veterans, I'm a vet. I've been moving around a lot for the last several years, and every time I move, I have to sign up to get a mental health care counselor or a psychiatrist, therapist, and there's always a frickin' wait list, months and months. You know, and their solution is, oh, call the veteran crisis line if you need something, or, you know, well, okay, that's great, and that's fine and dandy, but you know, and then they're like, oh, we'll follow up with you, and it's just everything gets, you know, shoved aside, and you know, in the meantime, I don't know, over the past 5 years how many friends I've lost to suicide, or you know, or have been put in institutions, and for lack of proper mental health care.
And I think students have it even worse because, like you said, there is no place for them to go other than school.
Yeah.
And if the schools don't have mental health professionals, then they're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be the last one that we see.
No.
It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out with all these. What you end up finding out after the fact is either they got the guns illegally, or there was something in the system that should have been reported that wasn't, and that's how they got their firearms.
Or as in the case of Buffalo and several others in the last 5 to 10 years, they were in the system and literally on the radar of one of the alphabet agencies like the FBI, almost always the FBI.
Yeah.
And the FBI drops the ball. I mean, well, that could be because the FBI is too busy trying to set people up in Michigan.
Yeah.
And then getting their butts handed to them by the courts.
Too busy spying on us and trying to, make cases against
set
Trump and
innocent people up for real crimes.
Yeah. Getting people who were protesting at January 6th thrown in jail for, years for essentially vandalism. So that was the big things. I know we don't have a lot of time tonight, so we're coming
how was the incident at was it 29 Palms yesterday?
Before we leave, I do have something about that. So it turned out to be a negligent discharge that locked the base down for several hours, and I did give one.
I have negligent discharges. I had one earlier in the bathroom. Don't want to talk about that.
That's why I like her.
It must have been the Mexican food.
Juan tells us to go longer, and after that, I don't know if we should. You two are perfect for
Juan,
each
do you
other.
have the video? Now, the video I sent Juan is a real video, and it's from 29 Palms yesterday. It's part of the aftermath of this unintentionally fired
I'm like,
discharge.
no. After your setup for the first story, I do not believe that this is real.
After the negligent discharge.
No, after the setup for the
the
school shooter
pictures.
story.
Oh.
This
Yeah,
is a
with
real
the picture.
video.
There's no.
I can
No.
attest this is a real video because I saw it on Facebook.
Okay.
So, yeah. No.
Yeah,
You know,
No,
you guys
it's-
you're sitting so close together that I'm trying to imagine you guys being in separate studios, but every once in a while you reach across and your hand comes through the other screen, and it's freaking me out. I'm just trying to imagine Skipper having. Are you a redhead?
No, I'm not. I was actually blonde. But
Not
my
you, Skipper. Shut up.
Oh.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Kelly, are you a redhead?
Yes.
I'm trying to picture Skipper with a redhead in his house, and you're there by choice.
Frantically calling 911. Get me out of here.
Can anybody geolocate you?
They're here for the dogs. No, not the dogs.
So yeah, it was discovered that a Marine.
Did that
in 3-4
legitimately happen at a military base?
That is
That. Yeah.
100% real. 3-4, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines. Yeah, some Marine was raising ducks in their barracks. I need to get a bottle of scotch and take it to that sergeant major.
You know, we have a federal medical prison here in the Rochester area. It's literally the FMC, Federal Medical Center, and it's for federal prisoners who have gotten to a place in their life where they're probably going to die in custody, and so they bring them here because of Mayo Clinic. And we have a massive population of geese and turkeys in this area. And the turkey got into the outdoor courtyard of the Federal Medical Center here, and one of the prisoners got his hands on the turkey, killed it, smuggled it into his cell, and was trying to cook it in a microwave.
I don't know if that would work. I don't think so. For a second.
Well, you're picturing you're picturing the giant farm raised turkeys. These are big, but they're not.
You guys are just reminded me of WKRP, the Thanksgiving Day. I swear, I thought turkeys could fly.
When they dropped the turkey. Juan, get on it.
But yeah, that's so that's what happens.
Turkeys can't fly.
Bodies everywhere. The turkey drop. I would pay for someone to actually do a turkey drop. Ooh, that's an idea. Veteran Nation Thanksgiving turkey drop for charity. We're gonna get letters.
All right, fellow babies, and now it's time to go to our live remote man on the scene at the Pinedale Shopping Mall for the big WKRP turkey giveaway. So, take it away, Les Nessman.
This is Les Nessman, your man on the scene here at the Pinedale Shopping Center where the excitement is mounting. We're here to witness the big WKRP Turkey Thanksgiving giveaway.
Hey, you got permission to be out here?
What?
You're blocking my store here, buddy.
Don't you know who I am?
Huh?
I'm Les Nessman. I won the Buckeye News Hawk Award last year.
Good for you, Buckeye. Now get out of my doorway.
I'm sorry. Creep.
So far, so good, huh?
I'm here with hundreds of people who have gathered to witness what has been described as perhaps the greatest turkey event in Thanksgiving Day history. All we know for sure is that in a very few moments there are going to be a lot of happy people out here. Now the crowd is curious but well behaved. And I think I hear something now. The crowd is moving out into the parking area. And oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter, and it's coming this way.
A helicopter?
It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner, and it says, Happy Thanksgiving from W.K.R.P. What a sight, ladies and gentlemen, what a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object, perhaps a skydiver, plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Second and a third. There's no parachutes yet. Those can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh, my God, they're turkeys! Oh, Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes! One just went through the windshield of a parked car! Johnny, this is terrible. The cars running around, pushing each other? Oh, my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there. Children are searching for their mothers, and not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny. The crowd...
Les, are you there? Les isn't there. Thanks for that on-the-spot report, Les.
Coming to a base near you. Well, do you want to plug some coffee?
So what? So what? So it was just a negligent discharge then. So like
Just
in the armory, like somebody was carrying their gun in their car or what?
No, it was one of the armed duties, I believe, because it was in one of the barracks, or at least that's the rumor. They haven't said specifically who it is. There's an ongoing investigation.
Hey, and we know
Yep.
how this is going to work.
The Marine Corps will have
The
done
military
nothing
will task itself with investigating itself, and they will find out that it did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
They're all innocent. But they did find those ducks as they were searching all the barracks, and I think that's why.
Was that were they literally found those ducks yesterday during this?
Yep.
That okay, I thought you were like it was a real video, but you were just imposing that into the story. But this literally the ducks got found because of this. See, that's the best military investigation. So that's how they're gonna spin it. This is what they'll do. They'll say, we got wind that somebody was unlawfully against regulations raising poultry in the barracks. And we couldn't think of a way to catch them in the act without them having the opportunity to secret the ducks away. So we staged a story about a active shooter to lock the base down so that we could then go barrack room to barrack room to search for said unlawful ducks and seize them. That's and then everybody's be like, "Hey, wow, that was very tactical, a very good idea. You got those ducks."
Those are emotional support ducks.
ducks are pretty good for that.
They can be trained. They can. They're also delicious.
Probably easier to train than a Marine.
They'll eat less crayons.
Yeah.
Juan, do you have any videos for us? Ooh, he's got videos.
Jeff Dunham, if you can hear me, could you please go by the White House and get your dummy? This shit ain't funny anymore.
Nothing to say.
I think she said it all. I think she's right.
Pretty safe bet.
If you join the Army, you'll get an education unlike any other. Every single day, people will try and kill you. That'll teach you lessons you'll never learn in school. Improvised explosive devices, snipers, suicide bombers. That's why there's never been a better time to enlist. In the Navy. Oh, yeah. While them poor grunts are eating sand in the 130-degree heat, we're catching cool breezes on the big ships, learning mad skills, and getting some. That's right. Navy's co-ed, baby. And our lady sailors bathe every day. In co-ed showers. I ain't lying. Hell, out here with the big guns, we can practically guarantee you won't die. Unless you party too hard. Call your Navy recruiter today. We'll pay for college, and it won't cost you an arm and a leg. Navy. Because joining the Army's just stupid.
Warning, experiences may vary.
I watched Top Gun in preparation for the new movie coming out, and the wife says, "I don't think I've ever seen this," and I said, "Commie." and then I watched it and watched it through the lens of being old, and there's a lot of homoeroticism in that movie. There's a lot of scenes of guys standing around in towels and bare chests, sweating in the shower room, getting really close to each other and talking in low guttural voices. It's disturbing.
That was the movie most voted by women, that if they were to re-release in the theaters, that was the #1 movie, hands down, that people said they would go back and see and pay full price.
Yeah. It was just very interesting to see them in close personal contact with each other like that. Yeah, it was a lot of things going on in that movie.
So you got some coffee there?
And I have a theory, by the way. Iceman was actually the good guy.
I heard, so he's dead in this new one? Is what I heard?
Really?
Well, he couldn't be in the movie. He can't. Kilmer is not acting anymore.
Yeah,
he got really sick and had to have a bunch of.
They show his picture or something. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
Crashed and burned, huh, Mav? Slider. You stink.
Let's go! Okay, I see.
You're like, more movies need a shirtless male volleyball montage.
I'm sure the ladies like. But see, like, look at the. What the? Yeah, no.
That was
Iceman was
before-
the good guy. I'm telling you.
That was before Hollywood started pretending that Tom Cruise wasn't short.
Yeah, right.
Are you
Oh,
selling
boy.
coffee?
What do you, huh?
Are you selling coffee?
Yeah, I only got 3 bags left. I got to get a
Jeez.
hold of Brandon and Carla.
We need to buy some his coffee.
She hasn't had my coffee yet.
No, she is not.
No.
You don't keep it in the house?
I actually just ran out last week. Like I said, you money, get some.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do. So I'm gonna try and do my. I have to reschedule a guest for my Monday night musings and see if they're okay with switching it out a week. But I'm gonna try and get the 22-0 guys on Monday for the show.
Excellent.
Hopefully,
Good guys.
hopefully we can bring Juan on. I'd like to. I could fit up to 10 people in my studio. We'll have to sit really close together and look right at this camera to do it. But, but I think I want to bring you and Juan and Andrea and then a couple of the guys from 22-0 on, and since it's Memorial Day, and
Yeah, I'd like that.
do an official announcement of what we. Oh, okay. This. All right,
Get
show
another
us,
video.
show us Juan, and then we'll have Skipper close us out.
Oh, Juan.
Ah.
What was it? What was that you were flying, Juan? Was that
That was a
Were you an
model
A10?
on the.
F-111? Okay, nice. They got one of those down here in Palm Springs, right along the, right outside the Air Museum.
Air Museum?
Yep.
What were you like? Were you like the youngest captain in the history of the Air Force? You look like you're 14 in that picture.
24.
24.
Nice.
See, this is why smart people. This is why smart people upset me.
Kelly, where can people
Everybody
find you?
younger
What
than me is
social
always
media?
giving me orders.
Let's see. What is my social? I'm on Instagram at SoCalKel74 and Facebook, Kelly McBride, and that's all I have for now. I'm setting up a new Twitter account, so yeah, so I got to do that yet. But right now, my most active is my Instagram.
And she's been helping our show's Instagram, so I think she's going to be doing more and more with our show.
You'll see more content on there from me. So.
TC, anything you're
Well, I'm right now as the co-host of the show. I'm going to go ahead and offer to double whatever you're getting paid. You can take it out of my salary.
We all work for peanuts here. TC, you plugging anything before we go?
Just my merch and my coffee.
Nice.
Right back
Also,
here.
I'll
merch
tell
and
everyone
coffee.
to check out
And
your show. You just had a great interview. I watched a little bit of it.
Yes, it's your network. That's your problem if you're not paying yourself one. Which one of the great interviews? The last 3 were actually pretty good. I had gubernatorial candidate Neil Shaw on last night here in the state of Minnesota. He lost in the endorsement during the convention, but he came out swinging and about the old guard rhinos in the Minnesota Republican Party. And I had Spike Cohen on Friday night, the Libertarian vice presidential candidate for 2020. We had a great show. So yeah, check those out. Minnesota Black Robe Regiment on YouTube, and
on Rumble.
I also have a subscribe star now where I have some exclusive content that Spike sat after the main interview, and we spent about 15 minutes doing some exclusive content that if you want to see it, you got to subscribe. The nice thing is the lowest tier of the subscribe star is only $3 a month, So, I mean, that's like half of a cup of coffee.
And in some places here in California, that's the smallest cup of coffee you can get. So, Biden inflation is killing us all. Well, as
So yeah,
always,
subscribe star Minnesota Black Robe Regiment podcast. Yep.
I'm gonna
TC
encourage
broke.
everyone to join our Facebook group because we're always in
Absolutely.
there talking. The Instagram at Vet Nation Show, and also we're on Truth Social. On Truth Social, we are at Veteran Nation, and yeah, we're getting a pretty good. We're over 7,000 subscribers on there, so we're pushing stuff out. We're gonna be doing more and more content. Yeah, so we're gonna be. I think we're gonna eventually, uh, might do some new things as people like Kelly come and join on and help us out more. It gives us freedom to do more things.
Yeah, I'm glad that Skipper has a government job because he has time to do things all day long. And
No one said I work
I just
hard.
come in here. I just come in and provide the rants on Tuesday night. Skipper does all the other work. He's like, "Hey, have you checked out this Facebook page lately?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I posted a video on there."
It's all good content, and that's the thing. We're just giving all the people out there lots of content. But yeah, we're coming up against our time, so everyone, thanks for joining us. Check us out on our various social media platforms, and we'll be pushing out more and more stuff. We gotta get the Dogface guys back in, and a couple charities. We kind of cooled it on the charities. We'll have to get some charities in the next couple weeks. But beyond that, thank you for joining us today. It's been a great show, and thank you for being worth serving.